Addiesdive is one of the brands that have been absolutely killing it on AliExpress in the past few years. One release after another, they've been able to put out watches that not only look good, but also present great value for money, and incredible specs to price ratio that sometimes makes you wonder, how are they even making money selling some of these watches? Today we are taking a look at not one, but two Addiesdive watches that demonstrate this claim very well in my opinion. The AD2023-1, homaging the coveted vintage Rolex Explorer 1016, and the AD2030, that shares many characteristics with the AD2023-1, but with three beautifully textured dials that have no business on a watch that you can get for less than $50. I bought both of these watches at different times during AliExpress sales, and paid $64.38 for the Explorer homage, and only $41.76 for the Snow Dial AD2030. These watches are not too expensive to begin with, these are their prices at the time of recording. Both watches come in your regular black plastic AliExpress watch box. You've probably seen it 100 times before, here's everything you can expect to get. Dimension-wise, the two watches are pretty much identical. We're looking at 36.5mm of case width, 11.5mm of overall thickness, 19mm between the lugs, with the bracelets tapering to 16 at the clasps. Lug tip to lug tip of 45.5mm, and around 100 grams of weight. Water resistance on both of these is 100 meters, perfect for everyday use, including some water activities. Let's take a closer look at the dials and hands, as this is obviously where these two watches differ from each other. Being an Explorer 1016 homage, you won't be surprised to find a matte black dial with printed markings on the AD2023-1. A white mini track adorns the edge of the dial, and the classic 1016 style hour markers are also present, made up of luminescent material. A downwards facing triangle marks the 12 o'clock position, the iconic 3, 6, and 9, and baton hour markers everywhere else. The 2030 has the more unique and intricate dial, which makes me wonder why it is the cheaper one of the two. Anyway, we have a black mini track this time, and a set of applied indices. These are highly polished baton markers, split down the middle. The four cardinal markers are thicker for distinction. And of course, the snow textured dial. It's not actually completely white, it does have a silverish metallic sheen to it, though very subtle. Both watches have the Addiesdive logo printed under their 12 o'clock markers, and Deep Sea Hunter and the water resistance information printed above the 6. Neither of these watches have a date complication, or any other complication for that matter, other than the three hands telling the time. Snow White over here sports highly polished Dauphin style hour and minute hands, and a highly polished needle seconds hand. None of them feature any lume. The 1016 homage features the classic Mercedes style handset, with lume on the center of each hand, including the lollipop tip of the seconds hand. And that might explain the price difference between the two watches. BGW9 Superluminova was used on the dial and hands, and you have to admit it looks pretty good. Being printed on, the indices are going to fade out first. Both watches sport the same double-domed mineral crystal, and while both crystals have blue-tinted anti-reflective coating applied to them, it is much more prominent on the black Explorer homage. The cases are the same, and for budget pieces, they are done very well. They are made of 316L stainless steel, and both are treated to a brushed finish on the tops of the lugs, and a polished finish on the sides of the cases and the fixed and beveled bezels. The side profiles are slim, and there is a slight downcurve to the lugs that is going to make them wear great on the wrist. Both crowns are knurled for good grip, screw down into place to help with the water resistance, and feature an engraved Addiesdive logo. The case backs are nearly identical, both screw down, and have the same engraving of the logo and some specifications, but they differ in the method used for screwing them out and the tools you're going to need for the job. You've noticed the sweeping seconds hands, and you might have also noticed that they're sweeping a bit slower than modern mechanical watches usually do. That's because both of these watches are actually powered by a quartz movement. More specifically, a Seiko VH31 Mecha Quartz movement. This is a 2 joules tuning fork type quartz movement, part of Seiko's VH family of hybrid mechanical quartz movements. The seconds hand actually ticks 4 times every second, very similar to vintage mechanical watches, but it has the huge advantage of quartz accuracy of between plus and minus 15 seconds per month. On the flip side, you only get 2 years of battery life, as opposed to a minimum of 3 years with regular 1 tick per second quartz movements. The bracelets are identical as well, and punch way above the price points of these watches. These are oyster style bracelets, 3 solid links in each row, solid end links with female middle links, and on both the links are held together with push pins. Both are brushed on top and polished on the sides just like the cases, and both feature the same excellent fully milled fold over clasp, with 5 holes for micro adjustment, Addiesdive's name and logo engraved on top, and polished chamfered edges. Both watches wear the same on my 7-inch wrist, yet look very different. They don't just wear the same, they wear great. They're great size and sit nice and close to the wrist. Being on the dressier side, the white watch is going to be less legible, but the legibility on the black watch is very good, as you do get a good contrast between the dial and hands. Sourcing for different straps is going to be a bit more challenging due to the 19mm lug width. Here is one extra look for each watch if you feel like mixing it up. With neutral colored dials, both watches are going to be strap monsters. Time to do the pros and cons now. Pros first. I have absolutely no complaints about these 2 watches when it comes to construction and finishing. For what they cost, it's pretty amazing what you get. Stainless steel cases and bracelets finished surprisingly well, screw-down crowns and case backs, milled clasp with plenty of micro adjustment, everything is properly branded, Seiko Mecha Quartz movements, beautifully domed crystals with AR coating, they're slim, they sit well on the wrist, they look good, and punch way above their price points. I've seen far more expensive watches that are not as nicely made as these 2 Addiesdives. The AD2023-1 is a fine option if you're looking for that vintage 1016 look, and the AD2030 has an awesome dial that is bound to be a conversation starter. With that said, for the money, you can't expect perfect watches. I keep saying that mineral crystals are always going to be listed as cons, as opposed to sapphire crystals, they are going to get scratched eventually, and buffing those scratches out is going to be next to impossible, unlike acrylic crystals. But again, for the money, you can't really complain about that. The other 2 cons I can think of have to do with the design of these, and if you are willing to look past them, then I don't see a reason not to pick one of these up. The first one is the elephant in the room. Both the name Deep Sea Hunter and the Addiesdive logo slapped on both dials are very nautical themed, and these watches are not. These are sports watches, and both the name and logo just don't suit them. The second thing is the 19mm lug width. Nothing much to say about that. Either 18 or 20mm would have been preferred. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Which one of these would you pick up and why? In the description of this video you'll find links to both of these watches. These are going to be affiliate links that will not cost you anything extra, but will help the channel with a small commission. So thanks in advance if you do decide to use them. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my affordable watch collection, and hit the notification bell for more affordable watches related content. Here are quick links to my reviews of 2 more Addiesdive watches. Check one of these out next. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.